Hello guys, how we doing? It's Sunday the 15th of January. West Ham continue to lose. Moyes is still in the job, at least until the Everton game. How long can this continue? Me and Paul are going to talk about it. We'll be back after this. Hello mate, how are we doing? Last week you said, we was going to do a podcast, and then you texted me and went, mate, I can't do this no more. I can't talk about it. It's too depressing every week. But I think after yesterday's game, we had to get together and discuss what's going on, mate. Yesterday, I just ran and I did a little review yesterday. To be honest, I completely forgot about the game when I was talking in the review. I was talking he has to go, mate. I can't believe that he's still in the job, and I can't believe the rumours that even if we lose to Everton, they still may persist with it.
I mean, the thing is, right, is we're at a point now where, after Everton, even if we beat Everton, what's our next games? We've got Chelsea, Newcastle, Chelsea, Tottenham, which are 3 losses.
I think Man United are in there again soon.
Yeah, 3 losses there, and then like you say, we've got. And I had a look at the fixtures, mate, and I can't see another win coming until maybe April the 1st. It's insane. It's insane. I can't see another one coming to April. Well, the thing is, all this, we'll give him till the Everton game. And then even, if we loses, then, maybe we'll keep him anyway. It's too late. It's too late. Too late. Should have happened before the World Cup. We said this at the time. Should have happened before the World Cup. Massive wasted opportunity. And the problem we've got now is, at least...
You said last week, mate.
At least, sorry, mate, you're breaking up a bit. At least before the World Cup, it would have given us time, and we weren't in such a bad position, so we could have maybe got a decent manager in. But now, we're joint bottom. We're only off the bottom of the table on goal difference. We're joint bottom on points. We ain't getting no good managers coming here. Any manager we get now is going to be an interim manager till the end of the season with the sole job of keeping us up. That's it. Forget about your Pochettinos, your Tuchels, any good manager you want to name. Forget about them. Forget about it. It's going to be some firefighter to come in and to try and keep us up, which I'll be honest, mate, at the moment, we're on track for 30 points. I think we're on track for this season. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down.
I think we are, mate. I do. You said it in a text the other day, mate, and I tweeted it out. I see a few channels are starting to mention it now. About the Pellegrini thing, mate. At this point, Pellegrini was on 19 points. Mate, he's 4 points behind, and he's still in the job. And at least Pellegrini had the excuse of he had Roberto. His stubbornness was he was playing Roberto in goal. What's Moyes'?
I think Pellegrini won his last 2 games as well. Didn't he beat Chelsea and, won the last 2 games? Yeah, we are
in goal,
We're going down, mate. We're going down. It's too late. It's too late. Should have happened sooner. Now we've got no chance of getting a decent manager to come in. We've got no time left in the transfer window to sign any players.
What I don't like, mate, is the fact that the board are just going, we can afford to lose that 3 points. We can afford to lose that 3 points. We can lose to Wolves. We can lose to Brentford. We can lose to Everton. And then, like you say, mate, if a new man, say, does go after Everton, a new manager has got to try and get at least 8 wins out of 18 games to have a realistic chance of staying up. This West Ham team have not got 8 wins in them at the minute. They haven't.
No.
I don't know.
No, there's nothing good, mate.
Are you surprised? Because you were quite adamant that you really thought he was gone. You thought he would go last night.
I can't believe they didn't sack him. I thought that they would sack him last week. I think the only thing that saved him was we didn't drop into the bottom 3. And, there's been apparently every manager that Sullivan has ever employed has had a clause in their contract that if we drop into the bottom 3, they can sack and with reduced compensation. So I thought, right, we didn't drop into the bottom 3. Maybe that's why he survived. This weekend, we dropped into the bottom 3. And, any, apart from maybe Everton, any other club in Europe, the run that we've been on, he would have been sacked. Any other club, he would have been sacked. So I'm thinking the only reason he's still here is maybe they're waiting for that. They're waiting for that drop into the bottom three, then they can let him go on the cheap. We dropped into the bottom three, and he's still here. I don't. That just makes me think they just haven't got a clue what to do next. They haven't got anyone lined up.
It just shows how poorly run we are as a club, mate. Like you say, that about before the World Cup, okay, they might have decided we're going to stay with him, but at that point they should have been earing out other managers, Poch, do you fancy it? Tooch, do you fancy it? And listen, I know people are going to throw at me going, Poch ain't going to come. But we should be making calls. Even Michael Carrick, would you go? Would you leave Middlesbrough? Company, would you leave there?
I did read yesterday that we approached Tuchel and Enrique, and both of them turned us down. I read that we did approach them, and I say, that caliber of manager, maybe it would have been a long shot, but maybe would have had a chance of getting that caliber of manager if we'd have let Moyes go before the World Cup. But now, that type of manager ain't coming to West Ham. No way. They're going to come and risk a relegation on their CV.
Yeah. Well, with that, and you sort of touched on it already, mate, that any manager now, if he gets sacked after Everton, they're only going to have about a week and a half to have a look at what we've already got, get players out the door, and then convince a board that, I want to sign this one, I want to sign that one. It's an absolute shambles. It is. It's a shambles of a football club. It is.
And the thing is, we are in a relegation fight. There's absolutely no doubt about it. I would say it looks like we're going down. And then you think, all right, who are the players that's going to fight to get us out of this? Dawson apparently refused to play yesterday because he wants to leave.
He's gone. He's gone this week.
Yeah, Rice is gone at the end of the season, no matter what happens.
And doesn't seem to have the leadership abilities to drag people through games like Mark Noble did.
Which I've been saying for the last year and a half. You've got your big money signing, Scamacca, Paqueta. They don't care. They're going to be looking at this thinking, well, if West Ham...
I did like what they said, actually. A good came out. Yeah, a good came out and said, we need to stick in this together and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Fair play for him to come out and say that. And they're all going to say that. But at the end of the season, if West Ham are in the Championship, Paqueta ain't playing for West Ham. He'll be gone in the summer.
Wait. Bowen's not.
Scamacca's gone in the summer.
That's the problem I hate about West Ham. When we go through relegation battles, a few years ago, you go, does he really care? Does he really care? Because he's off and he's off.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of comments. I just want to highlight this one.
Yeah, we're going to go through it in a minute.
From Dan. A lot of the allegedly good players need a longer look at himself. Mate, show me one player that's played well. Ben Rama?
I thought Agurd played well yesterday. I did. I did think Agurd played well, considering he was playing right centre-back when he's left-footed.
I think he did play very well, but, you're talking he's played, 3 games in the Premier League. He's not responsible for where we are in the league. I'm talking about the players that have actually played this season that have got us into this position. It's all of them. All of them. I still say, and we've been saying for a while, I think Ben Rama's been our best player this season. Rice has been decent, but he's leaving anyway. Nothing.
Bowen's been better in the last couple of games, but I wouldn't say he's played well. He's been better.
He's been better at doing what?
He's been better than what he was. He's been better than from a 1 out of 10. He's gone to a 4 out of 10.
Bowen's been better. Oh yeah, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant at running backwards. No one's doing anything.
What about Antonio, mate?
He's gone. His legs are gone. We knew
there's rumours that he's been linked to the move to Wolves. Apparently $8 million we could get for him. I don't think Wolves will be looking at him after yesterday. But would you sell him? All this stuff about relegation. Oh, he helps a relegation rival. Really? Does he really help on that performance and the performances that he's had recently?
Yeah, of course I would sell him. Of course I would. Apparently, and again, these are all apparentlys, but apparently he is one of the players that has had falling outs with Moyes. He's had a bust up with Moyes. I didn't actually know this. I don't know if you knew this either, mate, but I didn't know that Antonio actually lives up north and he commutes to the training ground.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. It surprised me. But yeah, so, I would sell him, 100% sell him.
Yeah, he's on $100,000 a week as well. He's on big boy money.
why we gave him that contract extension when we did, I don't know. Oh, he was going through some purple patch and he was playing well at the time, but it wasn't sustainable. Let's give him a massive contract. It's just this is why
because I got dug out a bit yesterday. I got dug out a bit yesterday. People going, oh, people are so quick to forget. I actually sent you the tweet, didn't I? He scored the first goal at London Stadium. He's our record goal scorer. Yeah, okay, fantastic that he's done that. But I'm talking here and now. He's not good enough. Cresswell is not good enough. Souček is not good enough. There's too many. They're not good enough. And I love Ogbonna. I love him. He's not good enough anymore. He's not. He's too slow. And it's a shame, but there's no sentiment in football. If you want to keep these old boys, we're going down. That's it. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, mate. 100%. And you can say, oh, Antonio's our top Premier League goal scorer of all time. That stat in itself shows how much of a joke West Ham United is.
Yeah.
It does. The fact that Mikel Antonio is our all-time Premier League top goal scorer is a joke. It's a disgrace. But how many goals is it?
It's got to be 53-ish now, isn't it?
Something like 50 goals. Most good players at good clubs will get that in 3 seasons. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know he played right back and right wing back and stuff, but it just shows that
I don't care that he's done this, and he's done this for us, and he's done that for us, and he got us here, and he scored this goal, he scored that goal. All right, let's get Winston Reid back. He scored a goal the last game of the Bowling, didn't he? Let's get Winston Reid back. Let's bring Mark Noble out of retirement, put him back in midfield. It's a joke of an argument.
Yeah,
this is why I didn't want to do a podcast last week, mate. There is nothing good for me to talk about West Ham at the minute. It's nothing good.
And I hate the argument of it's the same with Moyes, mate. Like I say, whenever I put on Twitter, Moyes out. Yeah, but and if you're saying Moyes out, that means you want Dyche. No, it doesn't mean that. And it's back to that thing that me and you were talking about yesterday, mate. It's that mantra of there's no one better. No one better in the world than Antonio up front. There's no better manager in the world that will get West Ham out of trouble. It's a load of rubbish. It just winds me up.
Mate, literally, we could bring in any manager, anyone at this point who's saying, "Oh yeah, get rid of Moyes and bring in who." It literally doesn't matter. Are you telling me that there's another manager out there that would have done worse than 1 point from the last 7 games?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Who would have done worse?
Go on, mate. I'll go through the comments. Then we'll have a little. We'll talk again. We are in a no-win situation. If we lose, we will lose 3 big points. Yeah. And if we win, it gets passed for more games. Yeah, but that's worth a little discussion, mate. That's the danger, isn't it? Like Everton are awful. If there's any club that's comparison to us, it's Everton. If he wins that game, like you say, mate, it's enough for him, but it's not going to be enough for us over the course of the season. He's not going to all of a sudden go on a massive run.
No. And even if he beats Everton, what
even
does that
a draw is a dangerous result for me. I don't think they'd sack him with a draw.
A result means nothing. A result against Everton means what? It means that we're capable of beating Everton, who are the worst team in the league. Actually, I say that. Do you know? So I was watching. I watched the game yesterday, and then I put Sky Sports News on, and I watched them doing a talk about all the games afterwards.
It was a little bit unlucky, to be honest.
What was unlucky?
Everton. It was a little bit unlucky yesterday.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, I thought you were talking about us now. I was going to go nuts.
No, not us.
So they spent a lot of time talking about Everton and talking about the state they're in and talking about Lampard. And they spent a lot of time talking about Frank Lampard and should he stay, should he go. And they spent a lot of time talking about his record. And they made a big point that Lampard has lost 19, I think it is, of his last 38 games. David Moyes has lost exactly the same amount of games in that same time period. How much time do you reckon they spent talking about whether David Moyes should lose his job?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
None.
I've not put any punditry on today, mate. I can't listen to it.
It was not even mentioned. Why? I just don't. Mate, you get the talk of Potter's under pressure, even Klopp under pressure. You very rarely at the moment hear Moyes under pressure. I haven't heard it at all. I've not heard it at all.
No. And whenever you hear it on TalkSport, Jim White's first out to go, "Oh no, fantastic manager, deserves time to turn it around." He's had a year.
Mate, the argument is the same. It's like, oh, look what he's done. Look what he's done. I'll tell you what he's done. He's taken the Europa League semi-finalists after a summer where they were the third highest spenders in world football, the highest transfer spend in West Ham's history. And he's taken that team to joint bottom halfway through the season. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
I can't hear it anymore.
Matt Rainey says time to go. Matt Rainey was a big defender of Moyes for a long, long time. Thank you, David Moyes, for the last 3 years, but it's time to go. Have you seen the article about the Rems assistant manager who has been in temporary charge? He has not lost for 10 games on the trot, 6 wins, 4 draws. The bonus is he is a West Ham fan. I did not know that. I'll have a little read about that later. We're going to talk about some of the managers that could potentially come in. I've got a question from Paul that I've not asked him in terms of interim that I'm going to ask him in a minute. Beggars belief, he is still here. Content on taking this club apart. Hope the midget is pleased with himself. This is what I don't get as well. Surely Kretinsky's on the phone. Surely he's like, come on, you want me to buy this club in March, don't you? Like, this can't go on. Or maybe he's thinking, if they go down, I'll get them even cheaper. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. No one knows. That's a problem.
If I may, lads, I disagree. Don't think we will go down. We are too good to go down. No.
Heard that before.
Hear me out. We have had worse teams before and stayed up, but I do. Mate,
we've had better teams and gone down.
Ever gone down. The best team that's ever gone down is West Ham, with the highest points ever of 42 points. When that happened, there's no team that's good enough to go down, because that team had Trevor Sinclair, Joe Cole, Carrick, Di Canio, Canute, like a fantastic team that went down. This team has nowhere near the leadership, the flair, the quality. And to be honest with you, the only reason that team did go down was Glenn Roeder refused to play Di Canio for about 10 games.
Well, I think Di Canio
Hollah
refused to play
for 10 games. You probably would have gone down.
I think Hollah refused to play more than
back in.
Yeah.
I'll take anyone but Poch. Take anyone but Poch. What? I think we're going down, lads. No fighting the players anymore. No, and that's why we need a new manager. In the review yesterday, we're in desperate need of some new leadership, some new direction, and someone to get them by the scruff of the neck. No, go in there and go, what are you doing? They've lost respect for Moyes now, so you need a new one in there. You know when you get a new manager in your own workplace, you're like, oh God, better get back on my toes again. I can't be a slack for a little while. That's what they need. They need someone to come in there, and it would give a little bit of hope to some of the youth players, and hopefully Ben Rama. The new manager will come and go, yeah, Benny, you're going to be my main man.
Mate, that's the thing as well. You like if you're one of West Ham's sub players at the minute, if you're Downs or Lanzini, or Ben Rama, what's your motivation right now? Johnson.
Yeah.
What's your motivation? Because it doesn't matter what happens, you're not going to come on anyway. The teams like got 1 point from the last 7 games. We've been absolutely awful for the last 12 months, and he still won't play them. So Emerson,
I don't know how Downs ain't playing. I do not know how Flynn Downs is not playing.
How is Downs not playing? How is Emerson not playing? Like I say, Lanzini, he's not the player that he was. We all know this. I'm not saying he's going to come on and turn the club around, but he don't even get a chance.
Yeah.
Johnson, like you say,
with Downs, he's done nothing wrong anytime he's played, has he? Like he's looked really good, really neat and tidy. And you know what he's got as well? He's a West Ham fan. He will like get in and but no, we'll play Tom. Tom can make any mistake he wants. Tom can give the ball away 15 times in a game. Oh, but he won that header. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Yeah. The Souček insistence is killing him. It's absolutely killing him. Mark Ring, if Moyes is to go and we get, for example, Tuchel, which we won't, I personally don't think we will go down for that. But we're not going to get them. Me and Paul will talk about that in a minute, and some of the names that could potentially be interim if it happens. Luke and Paul, sack Moyes, new manager. Would your opinions change about being relegated? Potentially. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah. I mean,
all right, we'll go on to it a little bit now, and then I'll go back in.
Yeah, it depends who comes in. It depends if we get a bounce. But yeah, potentially it could change.
Interim, mate. Interim. We've all had that Mark Noble. That cannot happen. But here's one for you. Anyway. In the club at the moment, Paul Konchesky, the manager of the women's team, what would you say on that?
Yeah. Obviously,
you would take that,
Yeah. Not as a long
As
term.
interim, I'm saying as interim to the end of the season. Would you
as
consider
interim
that?
till the end of the season to get us out of trouble? I would consider it. Yeah, but I'll be honest with you, mate. I would consider literally anyone. I would consider Harry Redknapp coming back for 6 months. I would consider literally anybody, apart from maybe Fat Sam.
I think it's going to be anyway. I'll do it. I think it's going to be Dyche, and I think it's going to be Sean Dyche. And if I had the money to put a double on, it wouldn't surprise me if Moyes ended up at Everton as well. Moyes to Everton, Dyche to West Ham.
Are Everton really going to want him?
The fans seem to be in the same mantra as us, mate. Anyone but.
But I don't know. I think if they went back to Moyes, I don't think the Everton fans would be happy with that. I don't know. I don't know.
Is there anyone else interim? Kevin Keane again? Nah. Again, do these people inspire? Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. You know, I like, and then obviously we've got Warburton behind the scenes, who Sullivan brought in, who could take over as an interim. Nolan, you know, there's a lot of players that could take it over for 6 months, and like I say, mate, I am genuinely, and we are now. Like I say, we're not getting a long-term manager now. We're not. Forget about all the good managers we could get, the good long-term building managers.
The change will be made in the summer if we stay up.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if we go down, we'll get a new manager as well.
Yeah, you know, that time has gone. We should have done that before the World Cup, and then we had a chance to get a good new manager in. We lost that chance. Now we are literally fighting to stay up. So any manager we get now is going to be for 6 months. It's going to be to keep us up. And then we try again in the summer and get someone decent. And it could be anyone for me, mate. Anyone for these 6 months. We just need that new manager bounce. We just need that bounce.
What do you make of what Anton Ferdinand said, mate, on the Hammers chat thing? He said West Ham as a club seem to undervalue themselves sometimes when we're looking at managers. Like, not now, in the current situation, it's a bit dodge, but before the World Cup, you know, why are we not trying to get a manager out of a club? You know, West Ham, you know, we're a big stadium, got a very good squad. We do spend money on players. Why is it that position, probably the most important part of a football club, they refuse to spend money? They refuse to go, we'll give 10 million and get Thomas Franks out of there. We'll give this and get company out of there.
Well, I think there's two things to that. I think first of all is the fact that it's Sullivan making the decisions, and we know how tight he is. Sullivan don't want to pay big money for compensation if he doesn't have to. So that's one side of it. And the second is, I think most all we see whenever, so even before the World Cup, and it was all the, oh yeah, but if you sack Moyes, who'd you bring in? Oh, it's going to be Dyche, it's going to be Benitez, it's going to be Roberto Martinez, it's always the same names, but that comes from the fans. It's the fans that put them names out. Like I say, as far as from what I've heard, we approached Tuchel, we approached Enrique. They both said no. So it's not like we're not putting the feelers out to these types of managers. I'll be amazed if we haven't contacted Pochettino. You know,
Bielsa.
I think apparently we did speak to Emery before he went to Villa. You know, I don't think that we don't put those feelers out. I actually think that we do. I think it's a problem that maybe they then don't want to work with Sullivan, which is understandable. Maybe that will change when he goes. I don't know. But the names that you hear over and over and over and over and over again, oh, it'll be this one, this one, this one. They come from the fans, and it's us that have got that defeatist attitude. But that just comes from supporting West Ham.
Yeah. Dream Villas says, I blame the board for this. We knew we needed a new manager before the World Cup and let a new manager and his staff work their magic. The board not only didn't do that, they have also no contingency plan. Amateurs, yeah. And that's my fear for the summer if we stay up. When Declan Rice goes, have they identified someone to replace Declan Rice? Probably not. And that's what happens. And it wouldn't surprise me, mate, your boy Scamacca, mate, that he ends up back in Serie A in the summer, whether we stay up or not.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either, mate. Again, I think it depends on that. I think the likes of Paqueta, Scamacca, if we stay up, Aguerd as well, I'm including in this.
Or police, Scamacca.
Yeah, you know, if we stay up, it depends on the manager that comes in. If we get a good manager, a name manager, maybe those players will stick around. If we don't, and we do end up with the likes of your Dyche or whatever, then yeah, say goodbye, forget it.
Who else can play right midfield? Bowen has been awful since the return of the club.
Mate, how long
No one.
have we been saying on this channel that we need someone on that right side? There's nobody. Bowen has got no competition, and he hasn't had for a long time. I mean, you know, you could try and play Antonio there. You know, you could play Benrahma on that side. But we at the moment there's literally nothing. There's nothing.
Chelsea have put a loan offer in for Antonio.
I did actually see, mate. I did actually ask. No, I did actually see that. Rumours, yeah, I did see that.
No way. No
they
way.
They. It's crazy if it's true, but I did actually see that as well.
All right, we'll have Gallagher then. Seeing this, we've got the defensive David Moyes. He doesn't have an effing clue. He plays 9 at the back and 1 at attack. What the effing hell are we gonna do?
Mate, I said this as well yesterday. You know, I texted it to you. So, like, if you look at the game yesterday, right, they scored from our corner. You know, we had a corner. They countered us.
Yep.
Quick counter. Got up the other end of the pitch and they scored. When they had corners, we literally had all 11 players in our box. Literally had all 11 players in our box. We had nobody outside the box. So we're supposed to be this counter-attacking team under David Moyes. When that corner comes in, if we defend it, what happens? We defend
there's no outlet.
the box.
Yeah, there's no outlet ball. Yeah.
It comes back. It comes back. It comes back. It's just, I just don't understand what he is doing anymore. I don't understand it.
Someone said that he bought a house when he got a contract in Manchester. That's Antonio, obviously. I think that the players are hamstrung by Moyes. He plays everyone his way, and if they upset his way, then you're on the bench. Look at Fornells and Benrahma. They're shackles on the players. Don't get me wrong, the players do need to look at themselves and, you know, get a performance out of themselves. But again, if he's saying to you, if you do a bit of skill and you give the ball away, you're not playing, you can understand why they do play within themselves. I'm a huge Moyes fan because of the last 3 years. But an old boy said this to me, Matt Rainey's sentiment doesn't, but I don't pass nips. Yeah. I couldn't get the words out there. Alan's spot on. What's he saying? We need Mark Noble back in midfield at the moment. Well, and I know Dan shares the same opinion on me as Mark, so I'm sure that's tongue in cheek. If he goes, it's going to be Rafa, Dyche, or Warburton. Okay, so
mate,
if it's any of them three, mate, which one?
As long as it's a 6-month contract, I honestly don't care. I'm fine with that. If it's
which one?
As long as it's only
if you had to pick
any
one,
of them,
you know, any of them
of those three,
I think I would. I would go Dyche.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, to keep us up
he would
for the next 6 months. Now, I don't want anyone to start saying, "Oh, so you'd sack Moyes and bring in Sean Dyche? Is that going forward?" No, I'm not talking about long-term appointment. I'm talking literally 6 months to keep us
as
up,
a quick fix,
and then he goes.
I mean,
I do not want any of those three as our long-term manager. As a manager for the next 6 months, I would take it.
Yeah, just to steady the ship. Yeah. Why did a board do this to the fans? They deserve so much better. It's heartbreaking. We are down, and it hurts. I agree, mate. Sean Dyche will do for me. He's always managed the team, and he had minimal budget. Yeah, listen, he's Allardyce, should I say, Sean Allardyce, but he would come in and just stabilise it. Listen, it wouldn't be pretty. It would be long ball football, but I think he would solidify. Is it really the defence that's the issue, though?
No.
We're not getting.
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. We've actually got. Yeah. I think we outside the top 4, we've got the best defensive record in the league. Yeah. Although that might have changed because we concede for a time we were conceding 2 goals a game every game. But we are. I think we're only Southampton have scored less goals than us this season.
Yeah.
But the problem is because he's so focused on the defence. That's why we're not scoring goals. We've got no freedom. Our entire tactic is get it down the wing and cross. I see a statistic last week. We didn't obviously do a podcast last week, but we've put in the most crosses of any team in the league. We've put in 410 crosses this season.
And I bet we've not scored a header.
We are the only club in the league that has not scored from a cross.
Yeah.
We've put in the most crosses of any team in the league, and we are the only team to not score from one. But he keeps doing it again and again and again and again.
Yeah. True Cockney says, I'd sell everyone apart from a Gerd. It's 2 steps forward and 5 backwards with Moyes at the moment. No, sorry, it's just 5 steps backwards. What's this one? A lot of new people commenting. It's nice to see. We are giving points to others. We're becoming a charity club. We are in big trouble. Yeah, we are in massive, massive trouble, mate. Rice is the worst captain right now in the Premier League. No leadership at all. I'd sell him this month as well. What do you make on that, mate?
I'll probably.
He does do a lot of this, and I know it's. I don't want to be like a Rice hater, but like he seems to just like get sulky. You know, like I'm better than these. I get that impression from him.
You know, I'm not a Rice hater at all. I do like Rice a lot. He's without a doubt, one of our best players, and he has been pretty good this season. Still, I think he's trying to do too much. But I've said literally, and you can go back and see the videos on this channel. As soon as we made him captain, I said I don't think he's a captain. I don't think he's captain material. I don't think he's got that in him. I said that literally from day one. He's not, to me, he doesn't show that kind of leadership, you know. And it's proven to be the case now. It's proven to be the case. I would sell him this month.
I said it
We're going to sell him at the end of the season anyway. So
yeah, and I know you always sort of dig him a little bit, but I don't see that Scott Parker in him. You know that like Scott Parker kept us up by himself for 3 years, literally himself for 3 years. He hasn't got that, has he? You know that just all right. You can't do it. I'm literally going to go and do this. And he does. He did used to go and do it, didn't he? He used to go and get them goals or get the assist, win that last tackle. Like, you know, like it's just not there at the minute. Robert says it started. Did last January. Yeah. We need a tougher manager. I do think Moyes is tough, but that's part of his problem as well. He's stubborn and horrible players. As if what Moyes has done this year to the first team wasn't bad enough. Look how the players from the academy have no chance but to leave. Long-term real damage. Yeah, you know, the Ashbys, that young boy scored for Leeds the other day, didn't he?
Perkins.
What's his name? Sonny Perkins.
Perkins.
Yeah. Looks like Johnson could be on his way out as well if things don't change. Arrived. Very true. No top manager will work. Yeah, I do think that is a big part of it as well. No, Robert, it started after the Liverpool game where we won 3-2 in November. Yeah, do you remember that one? That was where, Zuma and Ogbonna won it when they both got injured in that game. Downs has looked better in the 5 games he played than Souček's last 20 to 30 games and doesn't even get a sniff yet. We can all see it. A new manager now has got half a season. Yeah, and in that half a season, Dan, I'm sure Paul will agree with me, he's got to win 8 games at least. At least 8 games. Do you not think? At least 8 of the 18. Yeah. Sorry if my internet's a bit choppy, guys. Don't know why. Literally, the internet box is right next to me, look, and it's still choppy. Need to change from BT. Yes, we are in a semi. Sorry. Yes, we were in a semi. I said that means semi-match. That Frankfurt game again. He defended a 1-0 defeat in a semi. And he got he did, and people that keep throwing that at us, and that's not just us. They throw it at all the other channels. Oh yeah, but he did this. Yeah, he did it, and I'm sure Paul would agree with me. You know, because Paul was very much didn't back Moyes at the beginning. Then he changed and said, he's changed me. He's done well, and yes, he did. But again, it's back to that thing of that's not now, and this has not been going on for 2 months or 10 games. This has been going on for a year. Do you not think, mate? People need to stop throwing that at people now.
Of course, yeah. And this is the thing that I want to make clear is just because I want him to leave now doesn't mean I've forgot about what he's given us the last couple of years. Just because it's and this is the problem. This is why he should have gone before the World Cup, because it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and it's just damaging his reputation. when Moyes goes, and he should be gone already, I will say, Moyes, thank you very much. You have given me some of the best seasons in my life. You've given us some of the best times as West Ham fans ever. I will never forget that. I will always appreciate that. But that doesn't mean I want him to relegate us.
No.
You know?
No, it's the same with Slav, mate. Slav, that last season at Upton Park, arguably one of the best seasons I've ever had. Pardew, when he, took us to an FA Cup final. It gets to a point where it's, okay, yeah, thank you, Pards, thank you, Slav. But no, you have to go now. It's done. Like, if Slav would have stayed that rest of that season, we would have gone down. If Pellegrini would have stayed, we would have gone down. That's it. Same with Pardew, we lost that game 6-0 at Reading. I think it was New Year's Day, where I think me and you were in Butlins at the time. And it's like, he had to go. He had to go. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
That's why I started laughing as well. We were waiting until after the Everton game. Also note, guys, people are taking us as if we are a big club in a location. Yes, but as a club, we are a Bournemouth. No, I don't agree.
No, we're not.
Bournemouth will not go and spend 200 million in the transfer window. We are not. So we will not get a big manager. It will be a championship level manager. Got nothing against that. I've got nothing against that. If it, I'd like to say, I'd go and get a Carrick. I'd go and get a Company. At least they've got that bit between their teeth. They're hungry. They've got new ideas. Moyes is still playing football. That's like, I don't know. What, I don't want to be too years old. Maybe, I don't know.
He hasn't adapted. Moyes hasn't adapted.
What's that, mate?
Moyes hasn't adapted as a manager. He hasn't adapted to the modern game.
No, he hasn't, mate. He hasn't. No. 70 people watching. If you could hit the like button, that would really help us out. Ruben Almoron. Almoram. Oh, yes. I can't remember where he's at, this guy, but his name keeps coming up. Should Southampton go down and West Ham stay up, would you go for Ward-Prowse to replace Rice if he leaves? Yeah, well, we were linked with Ward-Prowse, weren't we, in the summer? I like him, but I do think bigger clubs will be sniffing around him. Like he showed the sort of performance he can do yesterday. He scored 2 really good goals yesterday. Also, this talk of the squad, a really good squad. We have the oldest squad in the league. We will lose 7 players in the summer coming. If we're relegated, we could lose another 6 with clauses in their contract. It's a mess. Yes, good point. There are so many comments. Sorry, guys. Just gonna go through. What will we get for half hour? We'll go for another 10, 15. I'd go for Brendan Rodgers. It's gone stale for him, and he needs a new challenge. Yeah. What about him, mate? He's another one under pressure.
I said this previously. When it looked like Rodgers was going to get sacked. Yeah, when it looked like he was going to get sacked previously a couple of months ago before the World Cup, I was saying then I would take him in to replace Moyes. Definitely, I like Rodgers. I do. I think he plays good football. I
think with Rodgers, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, it needs a new challenge.
Yeah. I think with Rodgers, you get 2 years out of him, and then you'd have to change again. No, that's the only thing. Yeah.
Mate, is there a manager in the world that isn't like that? Apart from your Peps, like every
not
manager.
Now, mate. I don't think so. Even Klopp now, do you know? Yeah. Is it true what Gonzo said? We have only won 5 games in 11 months. I think that is true, mate. I do. I think that is true. And one of them games was like Norwich. I think.
Then we beat Norwich.
Yeah, if you go to really horrible reading. Yeah. Good point regarding corners, Paul. And when they broke from our corner to score, we had no pace to get back. And look how slow Ogbonna is. Yeah, and it's sad. Like I said, I love Ogbonna. But again, I'm not sentimental enough to realise that he can't play anymore.
You know what though?
What about sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry, mate. I know. There's a bit of delay because your internet. So, no, I know. I actually watched the highlights again this morning because I just wanted to refresh just before we did the show. And actually, there were 4. I think we had 4 players back on that counter. We just couldn't stop them because if you look at who those players were, it was Cresswell, it was Soufal, Souček. And then there was one more. I can't remember who it was. So we actually had a few players back, but they were the wrong players and they just couldn't stop it. They just couldn't stop the attack. Cresswell tried, he stuck a foot out, but he couldn't make contact. Yeah, poor. Anyway.
What about What about Okaflex on the right-hand side? Obviously, he's come back to the club now. Yeah, I'd like to see him go. I'd like to see him have a go. Again, another player, whenever I've seen him, he looks really, really good. Pacey as well, tricky. How can you have Warburton? He's supposed to be an attacking coach, and we have no attack. Yeah. The Rems guy is now the manager, so he will be a no-go. His name is William still. And Parker's gone now as well, even if, not that I wanted Parker, but Scotty Parker's now gone, he's gone Bruges or something like that, I think. I can't remember where he went. Any half-decent manager would get us playing with the squad we have. Worst thing is that this situation was totally avoidable, and that's the board's fault. A Gerd to be our next captain when Rice leaves. That's if we don't go down, mate. A Gerd will be definitely scattered by other teams the way he's played the last 3 games. Surely a lot is down to the players. Strikers not scoring, sloppy mistakes. Really don't know what we can do. Fans are turning on the players and manager. It's going to be toxic. What do you think about the Everton game, mate, coming? Can you see Burnley protest styles, mate?
I don't think it'll be as bad as that, but I think, especially if we lose, we go a goal down here, it's going to get nasty. It'll get nasty.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Feel sorry for the 5,000 people who are going to travel to the derby on Monday night. Oh, to Derby on Monday night, not to the Derby. Moyes has been shaken when he's asked for the fans to remember what he's done in the past. Yeah, that was interesting, that, wasn't it, mate, in his interview? Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Moyes can't be here anymore. Can't be here for any more games, let alone Newcastle, Chelsea and Spurs. The thing is as well, if you brought in a new manager, I said it yesterday, they've got the chance to get that new bounce against an Everton and then maybe go on. And you could, the Tottenham game is always the Tottenham game.
Chelsea are rocky at the minute, there's a chance. Yeah.
To get 40 points, we need 25 points from 19 games. That makes it 7 wins and 4 draws required. With Moyes left in charge, we'll be lucky to get 4 draws. He is frankly clueless and is getting out manager. I think we'll be bottom this weekend coming. I think we'll be bottom. Same thing is happening again when Pellegrini went and spent 200 million. What do you think we will get for Rice when we go down? 100 million is long gone. If we went down, mate, we'll be very lucky to get 40 million. 40 million.
40 it'll be. If we go down 30, 40. Like you say, mate, that 100 million is long gone.
Long gone, mate. Referring to last January, I meant by not bringing anyone in. Yeah, no, 100%, mate. You can go back on a podcast. But Paul said it. What sort of message does it send out to Rice at the time that we're not buying players to try and go and win that Europa League? Moyes definitely adapted to the new 5 sub rule. Definitely hasn't. Sorry. What do you lads think of Corberan at West Brom? Almiron is at Sporting Lisbon, just signed a 5-year contract. Yeah, comes with a good reputation, this West Brom guy, but you don't know after 11 games, how do you know? Same with Carrick. Carrick seems to have done a fantastic job at Middlesbrough, but again, you can't judge a manager on 11, 12 games.
It's early days.
Got to be,
early days.
Like with Company, for example, if Burnley do go up and he's totally changed the style of football, then you can go, yeah, this guy's a really good manager. He's completely adapted the style and he's got them up. And then obviously his next challenge, if he stays there for a year, is can he keep a team up? Then you'll be saying, yeah, this guy's, he's got it. He's got some credential there. Paul will love this one. You said anyone.
I clarified that and did say I would take anyone, but not Fat Sam. I did say that. Not Allardyce, no.
I'm off, lads. Thank you for a great show. Head to Everton. He's played 53, won 12, drawn 13, lost 28. That's lovely reading that. Ogbono was back.
Ogbono, right.
Yeah. Even if we get a new manager. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, so just looking at Ellen's comment, even if we get a new manager, it won't be his players. We won't, with no guarantee he'll get us out of it. No, of course not. There's no guarantees at all. There's no guarantee. We could bring in a new manager and we could still go down. But I think the problem is if we don't do anything, we're definitely going down.
We're definitely going. Yeah, we're definitely going. Yeah, no, 100%, mate. Oh, that's enough Moyes stuff for now. We are linked with a few players, mate. whether any of these players will come in, I think it's worth having a little chat about. Dan Juma, a name he was linked with in the summer. Apparently, his agent is in London this weekend. I can't see him coming up. I would like him. I would really like him. Pacey, quick, got an eye for a goal. Totally different to what he was when he was at Bournemouth. Can't see it, mate. Can't see it.
No, I can't see it. Again, he's a player that we've been linked with for a while. I think we wanted him in the summer. Excuse me. Oh, all the shouting's making me tired. I think we wanted him in the summer. But yeah, I don't see why he would be looking at West Ham thinking, yeah, this is a club I want to go to right now. Apparently, Moyes has said he doesn't want him, doesn't like him. I don't think that matters anymore because it's pretty obvious Moyes is not going to be the manager, whatever happens past this season. So
I don't know why we haven't gone and tried to get Ben Breton Diaz. I really don't. Apparently, you can get him out there for 15 million, and it just makes so much sense to just go right. We need pace. We need a goal scorer.
I think the problem now is the board are looking at this. They know, and they know that Moyes is done. They know he's done. Whether that happens next week or it happens at the end of the season, he's done. So they're probably thinking, well, do we really want to spend money? I think Danjuma will be a loan. So loans I could see, but they're probably thinking, do we really want to be buying players that if a new manager comes in, he's going to want his own players? We're going to have to spend more money, and then these players we just bought are not going to be used. You know, I think that is a big thing. I don't think we'll sign anybody permanent this window because of that. You know, I can see loans maybe, but I don't think we'll sign anyone permanent.
The only one I can see being a permanent is Michael Keane from Everton with Dawson going. That's the only permanent I can see.
Maybe.
Surely, you know, they've agreed a centre-half. Again, this is West Ham. But surely, you know, they're not going to let Dawson walk out the door without someone.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But then, you know, this is West Ham.
As we said, yeah, this is West Ham, mate, yeah. Some good comments coming through again. Potter at Chelsea, Klopp at Liverpool are under more pressure than Moyes, which is ridiculous, to be honest with you, because I know Chelsea, you know, for the way they're playing is not good enough, but they're still sitting in 10th. They're still in the Champions League. And with Liverpool, you know, they've just gone for a really bad blip at the minute, and they've got some aging players in it. Like Van Dijk doesn't look the same presence. Núñez, it hasn't quite worked out for him yet. You know, and people like Gakpo. And I think with Liverpool, I think the biggest thing with them is they sold Mane. And I think Mane, it just shows how good a player he was for them. Yeah. Just quickly, just off topic, mate. Did you see the Man United game yesterday? What did you make of that goal?
I thought it was what goal are we saying?
I'm talking about the Fernandes goal, the one that should have been disallowed.
Yeah, I thought it should have been disallowed. I don't know. Funny enough, I was talking to my mate who supports Man United at the time, and I said to him, I don't, and he agreed with me. I don't understand how you can't say that Rashford wasn't
because Edison's looking at Rashford. Edison's looking at Rashford and the shape of his body.
He ran across the defender, took that defender out of the game. And then, like you say, the goalkeeper has to watch him. I don't really understand how that can't be considered interfering with play, but, you know, there you go. Good
because Edison's gone like that, like he's shaped to go to this side. Then, obviously, you know, Fernandes comes in and pops it the other side. Yeah, I'd be fuming if that was West Ham. Absolutely fuming. Yeah. Do you think that someone will come in for just 6 months and then leave? Yeah, I think we touched on that, Helen. If you missed that bit, I do. I think if any manager comes in, it will be a 6 month thing. And then, like I say, if it's a Daesh, for example, I really hope that, you know, if he keeps us up, that he doesn't stay. You know, it's got to be a 6 months firefighter job. And then during that 6 month period, we are sounding out. I keep saying his name, Company, Carrick, Enrique again, potentially, because then you're starting with a blank canvas again. You could try again, but yeah, I don't know. And then if you ask me if we go down to the Championship, who would be our manager? I have not got a Scooby-Doo. I wouldn't have a clue on who would be our manager then. I couldn't believe my eyes yesterday when Fornals was playing left back against one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, again, someone said it. He's come from a winger and turned into a new position. Moyes invented a new position, an attacking defensive midfielder who doesn't attack. That's basically what his job is now, which is ridiculous, isn't it? Just what you just said there, mate. Moyes said he doesn't want Danjuma. Sorry to mention the Moyes word again. No, it's fair point, mate. Moyes only wants Keane from Everton, and we are doomed if that's the case. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to judge Michael Keane, and it's, you know, if he does come in, we'll get behind him. We did it with Dulce. You know, Dulce has been one of the probably the bargains ever of any West Ham signing ever. He has probably been one of the best signings ever, and I do wish him well, Dulce. You know, it is family reasons, you know, and whether you say he's a rich man, yes, he is. He's a multi-millionaire. At the end of the day, family is the most important thing. He's at the end of his career now, probably wants one more little big payday. But what he's offered to West Ham has been fantastic, and I wish him well when he does go, mate. Any words on Dawson, mate, for you, just to finish up?
No, I can't argue with that, mate. I agree. He's done really well for us, and yeah, wish him well when he goes.
Yeah. Benrahma has been our best player this season, but he's not been playing him. Tells you a few things. Yeah, definitely, mate. He's my Will Harry, yeah, which will rub it in Moyes' nose even more. We just need one win more game. We just need to win one more game than the Saints, Everton, and Bournemouth between now and the end of the season, and we stay up. Yeah, that's asking a hell of a lot, mate. Players should be recruited for the club. And we appoint a coach. Players stay longer than coaches and managers. It's stupid to buy players for manager sack in 18 months.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You know, then you're talking the whole director of football model, and I do agree with that. But it has to be completely worked into the club from the top to the bottom. You know, the director of football then would need to be the one.
Like 5 years, mate.
Yeah, and you know that director of football then should be the one who's basically sounding out the managers to fit the type of football that the club wants to play in, and the players. And you know, yeah, I'm not against that model at all, but it needs to be completely.
It did make me laugh yesterday, actually. Some fans were, because obviously Trossard's had a massive falling out with the Brighton manager. That oh yeah, West Ham should go and get Trossard. No chance. Absolutely no chance. Maybe in the summer we could have maybe got him out of there. Not now. Well, why is Trossard coming to West Ham? Goal scoring winger. Like loads of teams will want him, surely. I still don't know this guy Chelsea's bought is. To be honest, I've never heard of him. I'd never heard of him until Arsenal bid for him. You would think Moyes would want to do well because this is probably his last job. Don't be surprised.
I'm sure he wants to do well. I don't think he's. I don't think he's not doing well on purpose.
I don't think he can fully see what he's doing.
Yeah. Too set in his ways.
I've heard Chelsea want company. Wouldn't surprise me. You know, if I'll tell you what, if Chelsea lose to Palace today, he's going to be under serious pressure today. Sullivan out. Won't be long, mate. We ain't got long. I'm going to try and get paralytic before the game on Saturday.
Dan, do you not get paralytic? Is there a game at all that you don't get? It's every game.
Oh yeah, that's not a new thing, is it? Dr. T Lady is still available. She'd do better. Are West Ham in a worse position now than the Burnley fiasco? Can you imagine if Lampard got the sack between now and next Saturday and Moyes is still in charge?
Different. It's different.
Yeah, it's different. We're in a worse position in terms of where we are in the league, I think, and looking like, can this team get out of it? But actually, I think the hatred towards the ball and stuff has definitely dampened a little bit recently. And yeah, I don't know. Do you know another thing? Again, I don't know whether it's right of me to say this or not. Do you think maybe they've not sacked? I don't know when David Gold's-Fruniu is, but do you think maybe they're not sacking him because of that as well?
It's possible, mate. I
didn't want to bring that up, but I thought maybe it's something there that.
No, it's possible. The Everton game is supposed to be they're doing like a memorial thing for him at the Everton game, which is going to be fun if the crowd kick off and there's massive protests.
No, yeah. Let's hope not.
That'd be a great send off for him. Could be fitting, some might say. But yeah, it's possible, mate. Possible.
Yeah. No, I did think that. I thought maybe, Moyes would potentially be at the Fruniu, and if they were to sack him, does that create a bit of an issue there? Yeah, I don't know. Warburton will be our manager in the Championship when we go to. Oh, Jesus Christ, please. Chelsea have been unlucky with injuries and Felix getting sent off on his debut. Yeah, that was great. I do love seeing it. I do love seeing it. I'm going to finish these questions and we're done, guys. Right. Question: should have been included in the squad yesterday and even played. He is our player still. Question: should have been.
Dawson. I think we're talking about Dawson.
Ah, okay. Is Quasimodo the program seller still around? I don't know. Cannot believe there are still Moyes in supporters out there and happy with this crap going on. Unpassionate fake fans, they should get out of the club as well. They're entitled to their opinion, mate, but yeah, I'm with you, mate. I can't see how people have an argument for Moyes in there. I can't. I think every single channel now and every single, West Ham news outlet is all singing off the same hymn sheet now. I don't think even the most staunch Moyes supporter has turned now. Right, let's get through these. Paul H, good shout. As the badges. Need to persuade Ange from Selwick and throw the cash at service. We are terrible at spending big money abroad. We should stick to the Championship. Scotland cheap, buy abroad. We consistently waste money. I don't know. Paqueta hasn't quite hit the ground. But again, is he being played in the right position? With Scamacca, I've seen glimpses of absolute brilliance from him. Again, when it's played into his feet, when he's, you can see what Scamacca's strength is. You need to get it to him, to his feet, to provide a shooting opportunity from anywhere in and around the 18-yard box. And there's a good chance, he's going to make the goalkeeper work. But as Paul said, if you're putting in 144 crosses, that's not him. He's a big man, but he's not. That's not how he plays. He's not Andy Carroll. He's not there to jump at people and get headers in the box. And I know Paul more because he's, the Italian number 9, and Paul, wants him to do well at West Ham. Is there anything else that you can say on that, mate, in terms of the signings?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't think it's fair to judge the players who bought in on this season anyway. The likes of Scamacca, how long did he have to wait before getting a chance? He's banging goals in the Europa League, the Europa Conference League. He's scoring goals for us. He looked really good. But then he don't get a chance in the league and his confidence starts to drop, and then he picked up a knock. So, I think it's a bit too early to judge these players, especially, like you say, when Moyes is not playing a system to get the best out of them. I feel like Paqueta's playing in the wrong position. I think Scamacca and Paqueta could both be a success in the Premier League, definitely.
I bet they do, mate. I bet when and if we go down, I bet they go to another club and they have a fantastic career.
Yeah, it's just using them properly. That's all it is.
Yeah. Fortune spent on Paqueta, an 8. We didn't need him, and then we go to Poundland for fullbacks who are so keen on the football.
Mate, the thing
some of that I do agree with.
Yes and no. Like you say, we go to Poundland for fullbacks who are so key. We signed Emerson. We haven't even played him.
Yeah.
Has Emerson played at left back once?
No, I don't think. Only in Europa League, I think. It looks like Masuaku's going to come back as well. Sullivan won't buy out manager's contract from the club. He wants a cheap yes man, and that equals Moyes. Anyone Moyes in is winding me up. I agree. West Ham Network are still Moyes in. Well, there we go. Not enough badge at the video. Okay, he winds me up because I wore me Stone Island last week. We've got some players. Let's get someone who can get them playing. Oh, God, so many comments. Sorry, guys. I appreciate every comment, but I've got a lot. I'm trying to be selective now. Antonio, I like to read out every comment because you've made the effort. Antonio is in the Premier League's 87th top goal scorer as well.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo, Basil. I've yet to see Paqueta take a shot on goal. Hollah Mark 2 is Scamacca. And Moyes has destroyed both of them in league games. Yeah, and Moyes is Avram Mark 2. Our players aren't having Moyes, only likes his favourites. So, yeah, I agree. Hi, you two brothers in arms. That is so-called narcissistic Weston says, that's obviously the guy who does Current Hugh in it, says, no managers lined up. And remember, this joker said, we were not after Paqueta and won't get him. Right, 3 comments, and I'm not reading any more after Paul H. Gollum has to go. The longer he stays, the worse it gets. Hollah has been banging him in since he's left us. Yeah, and it's great to see him back. I have to say that. Obviously, after the cancer, banging that trick. Yeah, good to see. Fantastic. And he was a good player. He was a good player, but again, wasn't played the right way. Oh, we're just going to lump it up to him. Oh, look, he can't run like Antonio. Guess what? Because he's not meant to play like that. Correct. Look, we do undersell ourselves. We should expect better. Right. No more comments. We're done. Me and Paul have done now for an hour. And I want to go and watch the football now as well and get ready for the North London derby. And I'm going to say something really controversial on a West Ham channel. I am going to be supporting Tottenham for the win because I hate Arsenal. I work with Arsenal fans and they need to be brought down a peg. So for one game only, Tottenham, I will be backing you and I want you to win because I hate Arsenal. Hate them. Anything else, mate?
You're not going to hear me say that. I hope they both lose.
That's good. Yeah, a draw. Yeah, draw.
Listen, let's just. I don't. I didn't want to do a show last week because there was nothing good to talk about. I didn't really want to do a show this week, to be honest.
Mate, I think we're going to be saying exactly the same thing next week as well. If we were to do a show next week, it'd be the same conversation.
So let's hope something happens next week. Let's hope there's a change and we can come on and there's like some glimmer of positivity. How about that?
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Even if Moyes weren't to go, some signing that maybe inspires us, that can do a Jesse Lingard for 8 games or whatever, just something to give us some positivity back in our club. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We got up to about 75 people watching, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. 70 people still watching now. If you are new, guys, if you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe because we are about, we're sat every week, but we're about 35 away now from 4K, which is fantastic. Yeah, until next time, guys, come on your eyes. Keep your eye out for the preview at the weekend for the massive 6-pointer against Everton. Come on your irons. Keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.